John Heilemann is managing editor of Bloomberg Politics and co-host of The Circus on Showtime, a division of CBS. Good morning.
Hi.
Is it at all likely that these emails will be released before the election?
Well, they're on an expedited schedule, and they're trying to. Well, I mean, I don't think the emails will be released necessarily unless they go to unless the FBI determines that they're relevant.
They are on an expedited schedule to do what?
To try to get through them all and determine whether or not what Comey said was, we found some emails that may be relevant to the investigation or may be pertinent, may not. So they're trying to plow through them as rapidly as possible and then figure out whether or not there's anything to do about them, whether they actually are pertinent, and if so, what next steps they might want to take.
Has it slowed Clinton's momentum?
On the basis of every piece of evidence that we currently have, the answer is no. But we're still waiting for data on this, right? But there's been some polling over the course of the weekend that suggests that the race has locked and that nothing that happened post-Comey has moved the numbers even a little bit. But again, there's only limited data on that so far, especially in the battleground states where we don't know very much.
But I hear from Republicans that the race is tightening in a number of these battleground states.
Republicans are certainly saying that over and over again. The Trump campaign is saying it. There was no doubt that last week there was a little bit of tightening as we headed into the weekend. The real question is whether the race has continued to tighten or tightened even more on the basis of the fallout from the Comey revelations or the Comey letter. And that, again, there's some internal polling on the Republican side that seems to suggest that. The Clinton campaign claims not.
Let's talk about the political tactic that the Clinton campaign is taking in the wake of this.
Yeah.
I mean, Hillary Clinton yesterday, there is no case here.
Right.
I mean, attacking the integrity of the FBI director.
It's accusing them of a double standard.
It's a Clinton classic. Yeah. When you're either on offense or on defense, and when you're thrown back onto defense, the best way to try to stanch the bleeding is to just go on attack. This is something that the Clintons have been masters of, going back now for 25 years. And to be honest, just from playing a very bad hand, because obviously the Comey letter was damaging for them in a variety of ways, having the degree of bipartisan condemnation of Comey, being able to get all those surrogates together over the weekend, they did a pretty good job, again, purely in tactical terms, trying to get back on offense. And again, right now, it doesn't look like it's affected the race very much. But again, one wants to be really cautious about this because there's just so little data right now, and we'll know a lot more over the course of the next 48 hours.
But does she have a point? Do they have a point in saying there's a double standard, that no one is really investigating the Russian claims against the Trump campaign?
Well, again, according to this reporting this morning, the FBI has apparently been investigating the Russian claim. The question is, the double standard to me goes more to why Director Comey decided that it was important to write this letter to Congress on the Clinton matter, but was not apparently informing Congress about other investigations.
Yeah.
I think from the general view of the standard practice here is that if you're conducting an investigation, you conduct the investigation.
In private.
You decide to in private, you don't tell anybody about it. And if you decide to indict, you indict. If you decide not to indict, you don't indict. Director Comey blew that precedent out of the water back in July when he gave the press availability when he first decided not to indict her. Again, that was unusual, and he came in for some criticism for that back then, and now a new kind of criticism this time.
So you're suggesting he should not have done that in the beginning. He should not have had a press conference to say what the conclusions of the investigation were.
I'm suggesting that it was highly atypical, and it was a break with precedent. Again, back then, Democrats liked it back then because of the fact that he decided not to indict her. Now Democrats hate it, and the whole thing has been flipped around. As you recall, for months the Trump campaign criticized Comey. Now they're singing his praises. It's all about purely political self-interest, right? You criticize him if he says things you don't like, and you praise him if he says things you like.
Right now, Donald Trump thinks he's terrific.
Which is sort of how I handle my life, frankly. Say something nice about me, Nora.
Yeah.
John, you're a great guy.
Oh, I love you. Nora, you are a person of great integrity and sound judgment. Charlie, say something mean about me now.
You are the lowdown.
Yeah, see, Charlie, you are a person with no ethical standards whatsoever, engaged in bad judgment and double standards.
Goodbye, John, I like your classes.
I think, John,
just go.
Gail, your judgment is beyond reproach.
You're a great American.
We will bring you all of the election results as they come in 1 week from today. Our election night coverage starts Tuesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and you can watch all day on our streaming network, CBSN.